G'day everybody and welcome to the Centre Bounds for another Monday night live stream. Hope you're all having hope you had a wonderful Monday. Hope it wasn't too bad. Hope your teams did really well on the weekend, both from a super coach perspective as well as a general football real life perspective, that your teams are going up and about. I know the boys, the Bombers are up and about. The Don, yes, the Don, my beloved gnome. We're doing really well. We're doing really, really well. Hope you all doing great also. Got Big J coming on in a second. He's just finishing up. He'll be on momentarily. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. There he is. There he
Jay,
is.
what's up?
How you doing, mate?
Oh, I'm good. Nice to be on the winner's side of the table for once. I mean, I'm not talking my AFL team, but I am talking my tips, Joe. I don't know if you saw my message before, but I went 6 out of 6 this week, and yeah, not looking too bad.
It was. I mean, I think most people got most of them right. I think it just came down to one. I only got the one wrong. I don't know why I believed in Port Adelaide. I'm never going to believe in Port Adelaide again. Port Adelaide can get stuffed.
I told you on stream on Thursday, I was like, Joe, don't pick Port Adelaide. They stink. You picked Port Adelaide. That was it. So, yeah, unlucky there, but it is what it is. It happens, and we move on, right?
Yes. I'm trying to see if I can get my camera to focus. My camera seems to be a little bit out of focus all of a sudden. Out of focus, mate. This is a bit bonkers, but it's fine. It's fine. Velo, how's it going? G'day. Hope you had both great weekends. I did have a great weekend. I actually took my folks to the football yesterday. Long time. Right. Yeah, it was a long time since I last took my parents out to the football. North unlucky to lose, and Essendon looking good for straight sets and out, mate. Look, if we finish top 4 to even have a chance at a straight set exit, then we've done a lot right this year. If we're finishing top 4.
Yeah, definitely. It's an interesting one, right? Because we look at kind of your run home, and a lot of people are saying, well, some of Essendon, the people you played earlier, weren't that great. But then the run home, you've got Ridley back, you've got some other people back. It doesn't look too bad. Maybe you got to exit and then like join back in, Joe. I don't know. Normally I just do like a bit of this and then it works, but for some reason it's not working for you.
Come on. What's wrong with you, Stipper Cam? Look, but seriously, no one even thought we'd be even close to top 8 this year. Most people had us bottom 6. So
that's the big
for it, and the complaints that everyone's giving us because of our run home and the fixture and things like that, they're only saying that because of where we are on the ladder. Like, if we weren't where we are on the ladder right now, people would not be talking about our run home. It's like we travel the same as Carlton. We travel the same as Collingwood. It's the same number of travel. People just love to hate on the Bombers whenever we're up and about. So it's just normal. It's normal. It's part of the trade.
Yeah, I definitely think so as well. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You know, what we were saying earlier about, you know, Sydney in round 12, should they have the bye then or should they have the bye later? And, you know, if Sydney weren't top of the ladder, no one would care. So similar to Bombers. If Bombers weren't there around the mark, that kind of thing, no one would care, Joe. They'd be like, cool, yep, Bombers run home, whatever. But you guys are pushing. I've got a guy at work, Nick. If you're watching, I don't think he's going to be watching, but if Nick's watching, we're saying, hey, even if we make finals, like you say, Joe, pretty happy so far with this year.
Yeah, for sure. No complaints whatsoever. G-Bags, hey fellas, looking at finishing off my forward line this week, tossing up between Moore, Rankin, or Caldwell.
It's an interesting one. I think a lot of people are going towards a Caldwell, and I think that might be a better thing to go for. I think you'll run home and his kind of midfield spot a little bit with Parrish out isn't so bad. And Moore seems to be really stuck at the moment. Just the guy can't score over 100. I mean, obviously coming off the bye now. But yeah, Velo reckons your camera is looking at the green screen. Maybe that's what's happening. It's like focusing behind.
I might just try getting out and then back in again.
Yeah, that's easy. Josh Weddle. I like Josh Weddle. I think Josh Weddle's great. I think in Supercoach, though, probably not. Don't pick Josh Weddle. Right, there you go. Ooh, 274. Pretty good. Jeez. Who should my last player be? Walsh, Sicily, or Moore? Now, it's interesting because you must have some pretty good DPP happening if you can pick one of those players. I think in terms of run home, now, if you actually watched our video a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to do this just because everyone's going to be like, why is Joe not on the left? If you watched our run home video, Walsh, I think, has one of the better runs home. So I think this week they're even playing like Richmond. They should win pretty easily. I mean, Walsh, it's something to look out for with Walsh because when Chera eventually comes back, I think Walsh has a bit of a dip in scoring. And I think that's something just to be mindful of. It always happens. It's why he kind of sucked a little bit earlier in the year. Yes, last week he scored quite well, but, well, not quite well. He scored what he should score for the type of player that he is. But, yeah, just be careful that they've got a few more players coming back. I think out of those, I would probably pick Walsh. There is talk for Sicily, though. Jack. I think Sicily's very, very good. And I think with CJ in the back line, it frees up Sicily to do some really good things. So maybe Sicily if you want to go a bit of a pod. Yeah, I wouldn't pick. I think Moore would be my worst out of those.
I agree. But the thing with Moore is that he's in a forward line where you don't have to average as much to be top of your line. Whereas Sicily and Walsh, probably you are fighting with some other uber premium defenders as well as uber premium mids. So the requirement for more is less, I guess, which is pretty funny. With more, you need less in order to be happy with it. So
I guess kind of the idea though is that if they're all around a similar price, you want to bring in the one that is going to score the most. And I think out of the rest of them, Walsh is probably going to average your 110. I can see Sicily averaging probably a 105 plus. I hope that Moore averages a 110, but I just don't see it happening at the moment.
Oh, it's tough. Look, if he can average 100, we should be happy with that for sure. Look, if he can average, 95 to 100, we take that. In that forward line, 100%. We take it. Cheese! Flag Dons! Let's go, cheesy boy! We're a chance, mate! And, man, Zane Don's up to 274. Well done. Unreal.
Yeah.
Good climb.
I have to do my team review, but I just cracked into almost the top 2K, which is bloody fantastic. And I think I'm only 200 points away from the top 1,000. So you guys better watch out. Big J's coming for you.
Big J is coming. Watch out. Oh, Adamo. Baldacchino.
Thank you, mate. Thank you very much.
Mate, you're a legend, mate. Thank you so much, Adamo. Much love, man. Thanks for watching.
There's a good post by Abs up on Twitter. If you guys have Twitter, just check it out. Basically talking about if you've averaged like 2,000 points over the last 4 weeks or scored more than 8,000 points in total, you should have seen a pretty big jump up in rankings. I'm not sure if Joe's done the calculations for his, but I put my post up there today and I think I was about 8,250 points over the 4 weeks. And, going back to the preseason and previous seasons, Joe, we've always talked about the bye rounds being the big kind of equalizer, right? You could have a poor season or not doing so well, but if you've done the planning and planned your team and worked out your trades, you can actually jump pretty high up in rankings and set yourself up better than a lot of other people kind of for the run home.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I know for myself, I put it in my thumbnail. I actually did a cheeky little upload. I've actually uploaded my my team review around this time. I just managed to sneak in and put it in. I had a pretty good jump up in ranks. I was ranked over 20,000, 20,500, and now I'm 9,500. So I've more than halved my rank. So it's obviously when you're a long way back, it's easier to climb the ranks. But still, I'm finally inside the top 10,000 for the first time all year. And the team is mostly all right. A couple of frauds here and there, but for the most part, It's okay. So yes, 100%. The buy rounds really
I think
important.
a lot of us have a few frauds, and I think a lot of us were very, very, very lucky with Tom Green going 150 plus on the weekend, because I didn't see that happening. I was going to trade him out. I would have been
I
very
told
happy
you.
if I had done the trade.
I told you. Don't
But,
trade
yeah,
him.
it worked okay for me. I don't know how it's going to go for next week, but last week, at least for 1 week, it did okay.
Mate, it makes up for everything. J Money, bloody North cost me a tip. They nearly got there.
I have to tell you, don't tip North Melbourne at the moment. Lucky wins will come, but I think they're just figuring things out. We should have won against the Pies. We did very, very well. I think in the game versus Melbourne, Melbourne did not kick a point or a goal in the last quarter. It was just 5 straight North Melbourne. So I think if we had kind of the magic that we had the week before against the Pies, where we went 19-2 for goal shots, things would have been a lot better for us in that week. So yeah, I know Joe's very happy with the rise of LDU, and I'm pretty happy about it too.
Mate, if he took that mark at the end and kicked that goal, he was going 200.
Plus 30 points plus easy.
He was going 200, mate. He was going to the moon.
Yeah.
G'day, Jay. How's it going, mate? Joshua, what's up, lads? Good to see your beautiful face. Zach Barrett is a bloody son of a gun. He is Joshua, and I hope he gives us many sons. I want lots of sons from Zach Merritt. Come on, Zach. We need to get you working overtime when you finish. When you're finished, so we can get a lot of father sons coming through. We can't have Collingwood getting the day cost boys. We need Merritts, little Merritt juniors in the club. So come on,
little baby Merritts. I think the problem with a lot of these players, the problem with a lot of these players is they start having kids into their 30s. I know Paul Curtis is pretty young and he's got a 2-year-old already. So there is some potential that he could play at the same time as his dad, which would be bloody hilarious. But I mean, if you have kids into your 30s, you got to wait another 20 plus years for those kids to kind of get ready to start playing AFL. So
I know.
No Dustin Fletcher playing with his son business going on.
That's what I'm saying. Get onto it, Zach. Get onto it, bro. Get onto it. Velo, Port, and Geelong are the biggest frauds. They're up. They're up.
I think you could probably throw the Crows a little bit in that as well. And I was speaking to Nick from work today, good old Nick. And a lot of teams this year are really getting exposed. The league itself is so close that, Adelaide without a Tex Walker just gets smashed. I think Port has been trying to top up with B-grade players for a long time, and they're just getting really exposed as well. So, yeah, the kind of league's evening out. You've got probably 4 teams that are top 4 easy, and the rest are all fighting for a position. Like what we've seen on any good day, or Hawthorn, potentially even a North Melbourne or a West Coast beating top of the ladder, or beating, the top 6 to 8 to 10 that from there down. So, yeah, not doing too bad.
Not too bad.
The league's in a good position.
I scored 81-47 over these buy rounds.
So what? Let me quickly check.
So I scored 81-47, and I went up from 20.5 to 9.5. So I essentially went up 11,000 spots.
That's pretty good. I screwed up my captaincy for this week. You'll see in my team review. Luke Ryan captain was not a good idea, boys and girls. I'll tell you what. Houston, who scored 100, scored more than Luke Ryan last week. So, yeah, that's kind of where I was at for last week's score. But over the 4 rounds, I scored 8,245, and then I went up 2,500 spots. So, not too bad.
Not too bad. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Yeah. G'day, Frankie. How's it going, man?
What's up, Frank?
Unbranded hello, as usual. Jay got 22-38 this round with Ryan as my captain, who was the worst in my top 18.
Yeah. And that was funny for me as well. I think Luke Ryan was my worst primo score, which is hilarious, because imagine if I had said that 2 weeks ago. Worst primo score, second worst score on field was Luke Ryan. So, yeah, not the best.
Yep.
What can you do, right?
always take a 120. You gotta take a 120 every
it was a
time.
100 though. Like Houston scored 102.
No, but he had Grundy. Grundy 124 he scored. So yeah, you gotta take the 120.
No, you have to. You have to take it. I think at this point in the time as well, everyone would have loved to jump on and have like your, Errol Goulden 150s. Trying to pick out some more examples. Errol Goulden 150s. Few of these kind of players, right? Zach Merritt, if you were lucky. But
LD
now is the time when crucial picking up captain scores is what you want. Like anything a 120 plus as a vice captain is what you want. Earlier on in the season, you can experiment, go hard, whatever. That'd be an advantage of your team versus the opposition team. But it's almost better for you to just be consistent every week now with a captain score versus trying to go crazy.
Yep, exactly. 100%. Cheese. The thing with Essendon is, yes, everyone says we beat bad teams, but as I said, no one rated us as good, even though us fans love the moves we did. If we went out in straight sets, we'd consider it a win, have something to build on next year. 100%, Cheese. Absolutely. If you told me beginning of the season that we'd finish top 4 but go out in straight sets, I'd be like, holy crap, we finished top 4? How did we do that? Like, it's, you can only play and beat the teams in front of you. Now, we're going to find out a lot more about ourselves in this next period. Do we deserve to be top 4? Can we be a top 4 team? Not like Dicko, who's out there claiming that we're a lock for top 4 100%. No sane Essendon supporter would say that. That is purely the insidious hawk in him praying for our downfall by hyping us up and then hoping that we capitulate. It happens all the time. None of us actually believe that we are a contender this year. We're just enjoying the ride, having the wins that come our way, and for some reason, other fan supporter base love to bash on us for winning. We're not claiming to be genuine contenders. For me, in my opinion, it's either the Swans or Carlton or Collingwood. They're the 3. We are multiple rungs below these 3 guys. We're just trying to have some fun, watch the footy, get our wins, and go home. We're not trying to start fights everywhere. Jeez, everyone loves to bash on the Bombers.
Yeah, it's really interesting, right? Like, I think for everything that I've talked negative about Brad Scott, he is good at getting the most out of a list. His development of players and longevity probably isn't the best, but getting the most out of a list is what he's really good at. And the fact that you guys brought in 4 players who, at least at the start of the season, obviously Goldie has fallen off a bit now, but bringing in 4 players who were generally going to be replacements for guys in the best 22 and make the team better, it automatically means that hopefully you'd think the team would get better on field and be more consistent and fill some of the spots, because you're not paying, $600K for Jade Gresham if you think he's going to be a VFL player for you and not have an impact on field. Like, it's just what happens.
We're just picking up players that we have genuine needs for, and we lost. Like Snelling out, replaced with Gresham. BZT out, replaced with Mackay. Phillips out, replaced with Goldie, and even then Goldie got dropped, so that was good. Goldie got dropped for Nate Caddy. Congratulations, Caddy, first goal, well done, mate. Michael, team is complete with a couple of fake premiums. I think a lot of us are in that situation, Michael. Predicted is 26.68. Hope it hits.
Currently, I'm 26.12, but Curno's currently rated at 70 or I'm not going to say 69, but he's rated at scoring 69. So
he's rated 69.
He's currently my worst one there. So
why is Gorn 79?
Huh?
Gorn's predicted 79.
I know. That's how bonkers it is. So yeah, there is a few predictions that might not work, but I remember last year, and I think for myself, this is the first time where I've been in a real position where potentially I can have, a decent DPP cover player. I think I might just have to pick up Dysinkin, but like I haven't been post-buy like not scrounging for a crappier like forward or defender. So yeah, not doing too bad.
Not too bad at all. Jackson just finished my team with Rankin, projected to get 2653. Wowzers.
Nice.
Very impressive. Cheese traded back in LDU last week. I'm disgusted with myself. He is the 5th freaking player I have brought back in this year. Absolutely incredible stuff. And hey, he gave you he's given you 2 great scores, Cheese. He's given you a great score.
It's funny, right? I go on about how silly the people were who traded out Fiesel. And I think kind of the rise of LDU in the last 2 weeks has really shown that, mate, this guy's fantastic. He just needs someone to help give him the ball. You can't win the ball and then run and then go bananas. You look at maybe Bontempelli can do it, but he can't do it consistently enough to score over 100 every week. So, yeah, North Melbourne's midfield's getting better. Sheasel can play anywhere, which is phenomenal. And, yeah, doing quite well. LDU fans, I think he's a 129 average over the last 3 weeks. So, not too bad.
Not too bad at all. Sports Nut. Hey, lads, hoping the bye doesn't kill any momentum for the Hawks this week. If we come out, beat the Eagles, and hopefully beat Geelong in Geelong next week, we could seriously make the 8. You're playing sensational 40 Sports Nut, 100%. Just keep up the good form. And even if you were to miss finals this year, it's not even the end of the world. It's all about showing that you can win. And, you know, that just goes a long way to also getting some more free agents through the door that will want to play and know that you guys are on the cusp of something great. You guys are in a wonderful position. And Geelong seem to have fallen off a cliff. It all depends how they go against us. Now, I know that pretty sure Geelong are going to be challenging the Patrick Dangerfield ban. Do we know how long he was offered? Was he offered 1 week or 2 weeks?
I'm not quite sure, but I can totally see why he was suspended, and I think it was the right idea. Yeah.
Oh, 1 match. He was offered a 1-match ban. So he should be back. Even if the ban is upheld, he'll be back for the Hawks game. But your Hawks are on fire, Sports Nut. I think you'll be fine. Velo, will Kobe come back this week? That's what I want to know. What do you reckon, Jez?
I think so. I think that's the plan. He did quite well in the VFL. He only played limited minutes, so he didn't play like a full game. But in saying that, it was probably like 3/4 anyway. So did quite well. 29 touches on the weekend. Looked really good. I always said he'd go through the VFL into the seniors again, and I think there's potential. I think Griffin Logue's in a similar position as well. I'm not sure of the matchup this week, if it means, hey, we want to rest them a little bit more, or we actually want to throw them. Who are we playing this week? It's the Dogs, right? So would you bring a running halfback and a key defender in, or like an intercept defender in against the Dogs? Potentially. So we'll just have to wait and see. But there's a fair chance he'll be back.
Yep. Did they say what injury Hawkins had? From what I can tell, Sports Nut, still waiting for news. I think he went into the club today on crutches still. So, look, it doesn't look promising. I think he's not going to play this week at the very least, but the full extent of the injury, only time will tell. Michael, 8,200 over the buys.
Nice. Very nice, Michael.
Gee, that's insane. Very, very
nice. A lot of people were saved from Tom Green kind of shitting the bed a little bit. Yeah. So not Tom Green, Clayton Oliver. What am I saying? A lot of people were saved by Clayton Oliver. So if you went a bit of an antipod on a few of these players, you're doing quite well. I know a few people had a Nat Fife still. Both of them scored 75 for this weekend. So, yeah. Tell you what, I hope North Melbourne keeps Will Phillips, because if he's going to tag, mate, watch out for opposition teams. I'll tell you what.
Glad I traded Raul. He's a spud. I wish I could. I don't have the trades, unfortunately. I'm stuck with this spud. Might end up being a bloody spud farmer myself.
I was very lucky and jumped off Raul and Took Miller when I did. I think they'll come good. But similar to why I don't like Steele and why I think Tom Green could be a bit of a sus pick, is just, I think the ball goes past them too much. And when you want to play a fast game of football, you can't be kicking it halfway to Tuke Miller, letting him run 5 meters and then get tackled. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, for sure. Next one. Jack, is it true Salem is out 4 to 5 weeks?
Ooh, that would be a big... I haven't heard anything, but there's always potential.
Look, I don't know. Apparently, from what I can tell, looking on AFLratings.com, he was assessed for a knee concern. He came off the ground in the fourth quarter, got immediate icing. He's expected to be available for round 16. So, from what I can tell, so nothing confirmed just yet, but we'll find out more tomorrow when the updated injury list comes out. Velo's tipping North this week versus the Doggies.
Yeah, it's got to happen at some point. I don't know.
I can see
it. Every year, the Dogs have always been our kryptonite. There's always a Josh Bruce type that comes out and kicks 10-plus goals on Good Friday and just makes us feel shit. So I don't know how my tips are going to go this week, but there always is potential. So we'll wait and see.
I can see it happening, man. I can see it happening because what's their biggest strength at the Dogs? It's the mid forwards. Will Darcy be back? Sam Darcy?
No.
So you guys are gonna win. You guys are gonna win. You can do it. I'm tipping North this week as well, Velo. They can do it. They can do it. Brody, g'day lads. Caldwell or Curnow? Oh, last week was the week to get Curnow, Brody. You missed a big one.
Yeah,
but I still think Curnow's worthwhile for the rest of the season, though.
Yeah, I think so as well.
He's absolutely still worth it. They're both great. I'd love to have both, but I can't afford both, which makes things difficult. Hey, Jen. Thanks,
What's
Jen.
up, Jen?
Much love.
How you going?
21-02. Very nice score. 21-02.
That's not bad. All things considering, I think a few even of the streamers this year only scored 1,900. So, yeah, kind of sucks. I think Shorty was a bit unlucky this week. Oliver had 5. Had a few of these other players thought, North Melbourne's a bit of a pushover at the moment and got slapped.
I scored 21.56 this week, Jen. I was happy with that score. Myself, Cheese, I don't care what the statistics say. Zach Merritt is a beautiful field kick. Even on his right, we'd be premiers if we had a team of Merritts. Well, I think most people would be premiers if they had a team of Merritts. But You're right. Yeah. He does have a very nice right foot. I wish a lot of players in our team can learn from him a little bit because too many people just don't know how to hit targets, and it's very infuriating. So, yes, Zach Merritt, beautiful kick and beautiful little toss of the ball as well, rugby style. I like it. Not happy with what the AFL are thinking of doing with the father-son this year. We set up our pick to get both Campriali boys. Now, I haven't actually seen anything definitive in relation to what the AFL are going to be doing with the father-son pick this year, Velo, to be honest. If you've got a link or something that can take me there, I'd be happy to read it. But I knew they were looking to make some changes, but I haven't exactly wrapped my head around them yet.
I'm more than happy with what they're doing, to be honest. It sucks, right, Velo? You're going to hate me, but it sucks. The AFL itself is compromised, and any year, like you being a Carlton fan, sure. Next year, it could be Brisbane having 2 father-sons. The next year, it could be North Melbourne having 2 father-sons. The year after that could be 5 other teams having 2 father-sons. So it sucks that it's happened the year that you guys have got it. But if the boys don't end up playing together to start with, there's nothing stopping one of them after the 3 years that they've been drafted. Cool. I'll see you later. Trade me to Carlton. Like, there's nothing stopping that from happening. So, yeah, it sucks for right now, but it's not terrible. It's not the end of the world.
Not the end of the world. Michael, I captained Ryan this week, and Day costs when he got subbed.
Yeah, so it's your fault, Michael. You're the one that's doing it. Tell me this week, who are you going to captain? So I don't end up picking that player. Bloody
Why
Michael.
did you say Ryan? His coach called him out for stat padding the week before.
Yeah, I don't know. I just figured, I thought Freo and Gold Coast's midfield would go head-to-head too much, that there wouldn't be a clear guy who was going to score a lot. It probably wasn't Ryan stat padding that negated his score a little bit. It was probably a bit of a Chapman and then Warner in the back line. Like, Chapman's come in and really started to take a bit of points off him. They might not play the exact same role, but Ryan's not the sole distributor of halfback anymore. And that's probably a little bit where some of the points is being lost. He did have a good last quarter where he jumped up 30 odd points. So I was happy with that. But in terms of actual position on the field, it's not that bad, I think.
Yep. Sydney is the only one for top 4.
Yep.
Oh, you guys are up there too. Carlton.
I think Carlton are fine. I think Carlton are going to win the next few games, and you guys will be fine. I'm not sure about Essendon, but I think Collingwood are going to jump up. I think Freo potentially, and then it's going to be a fight for the rest. I would not be surprised, though, looking at the scoring and the stats, that the Bulldogs make their way into the top 4. If they beat us and Port lose, they're top 8. Just straight up. Brisbane's definitely jumped up over the last few, and even in Melbourne, we could still see a massive reshuffle. I love this year. I think this year's really, really good and kind of starting to cement how strong the league is. Going back to I think Adelaide is probably Adelaide and St Kilda being 13th and 14th on the ladder are probably the worst out of the bottom 8 at the moment. Just from the way teams are playing. Yes, they've got a few more wins, but West Coast can beat anyone on a good day. And probably Richmond as well. I think North Melbourne are going to push a few teams towards the end of the season. So, yeah.
Oh, for sure. Bad. But no, seriously, who's beating Carlton in the next few weeks? They're going to beat Richmond.
Carlton are going to beat themselves. I think GWS can give them a fair run.
Could.
It's more about their not reliance on Curnow and Mackay in that game.
I'd still have them favourites against Richmond. I'd have them favourites against the Giants. I'd have them favourites against the Dogs. I'd have them favourites against you. I'd have them favourites at Marvel against Port. This one's a tough one against Collingwood. I'd have them favourites against the Hawks, favourites against the Eagles, and favourites against the Saints. Realistically, I can see Carlton winning for the rest of the season. They obviously might drop 1 or 2. They might drop Pendles. They might drop to Collingwood that game. They might drop 1 to the Hawks. The Hawks on their day can beat anybody. So, but all in all, I think Carlton maybe lose maximum 2 games for the rest of the season. I think Carlton are a lock for top 4, Vela. I wouldn't. I know years of being burnt. I can understand that. But your team is the real deal this year. What you guys did to Geelong on the weekend was a systematic destruction. Geelong almost never looked likely at all. So, you guys are absolutely the real deal. Absolutely the real deal. Michael, I like to have turns, mate. Whenever topics pop up, we talk about that topic. I promise I'm not trying to make it about the Bombers all the time. As you just saw me, as you saw, I was talking about the, hey, Pommy, there you go.
What's up, Pommy?
How's it going, Pom, mate? Congrats on the win. Epic win. Mate, you know me. I've been talking you guys up from the preseason. Don't you worry about it. Do I love it? Not entirely, no. I'll be honest about that. I would have loved to see us win this game. But, mate, your boys are flying. They're the real deal. There's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind. Bryce, how's it going? Oh, mate, Swans as well. Swans, unreal. Unreal how they're doing it.
Very, very well.
Gawn versus Brisbane, and he scores crap against them normally. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and that's where the low scoring is. If Joe can end up pulling up DFS as well, at Brisbane, Oscar McInerney's really good against opposition rucks. He might not go bonkers himself, but he's really good at negating yeah, so it's not the best.
So he's got a 138 there. Brisbane. 215.
Oh,
Pretty sure the
mate.
time before that, he copped a 0 because he had 3% TOG. Do we want to
Yeah.
include that? No.
Nah.
We're not going to include that. You can't include a 0 for time for 0 TOG.
No.
Brisbane here. What else? Another Brisbane game. Let's make it 4 games. His last 4 games against Brisbane, he's averaged 132, obviously significantly boosted by that 215.
Mm-hmm.
A 102, a 74, 215, and a 138. But that was at the MCG. Yeah, I can understand that, actually. He might not do great this week. I wouldn't VC Maxi in that game against Brisbane. I'd VC Zorko for sure, I think. Yep. Theo, should I do Bose to McKercher? How much do you think Fraser will get up to? I like the Bose to McKercher because McKercher's going to come in, and when McKercher plays, he's gonna average around 100 to 105, I reckon. Fraser, let's see Fraser. He's projected.
I think he's going to make a little bit more money. If Fraser somehow gets up to 300K, I'd be very happy. But I think at this point, he might be a trade out for myself, him and Sullivan, and go and grab like a primo or a 400K primo. I'm not sure how his scoring is going to go.
He's got a North this week at Marvel. If he scores a 65, he'll go up 12.9, so say 13. And then at this point, I'm not sure you're not looking to have him as a moneymaker at this point. I think it's a question of, do you trade him out now to get someone good, or can you trade someone else out and have him be great coverage on your bench? Sort of like what I've got with Breville, the sandwich press, let him cook. You could have Fraser on the bench instead. And it helps having some decent coverage on the bench for, you never know, for a rainy day. You never know what's going to happen. So can you hold him? If you can, whilst upgrading really well, then sure. If not, and he has to be put in the barrel to get a great upgrade, then so be it. Offload him. I'm doing well, Theo. I hope you're doing well too, man. Greg, 81.54 over the buys, went up from 31,000 to 14,000. 6 trades left and 4 fake premiums. Everything crossed for the ride. Yeah, I know, right? Everything is crossed for sure. Oh, much love, Bello. You're a legend, mate. Do we think Richards will be back for Collingwood this week? It's a chance.
Yeah, it's a chance. I don't know if they will, though. I feel like with the Richards, they'll take a week. I think that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. So he's calling the Collingwood FC. Massive shout out to Honeyball AFL for sharing this. Collingwood update. He's cleared his rehab program. He's completed high-end running and kicking movements separately. He'll move into contract drills this week and be assessed to determine his availability for Saturday's game. So it's either this week, if not this week, then next week. I unfortunately had to trade him out in order to have money. I would have loved to have held him. This guy, Richards, is going to be great coverage for your forward line. Don't worry about it. Big J, how competitive do you trust North to be for the remainder of the season? LDU seems to go bang in these games where it's competitive. He has more of a care factor. I had him for the blowouts.
I think North is going to be very competitive. From what I've been told, or at least what Big Footy's telling me, Clarko basically sat down with all the players and said, hey, what do we want to achieve for the rest of the season? What's happening? This is how I feel. This is how you guys are doing, that kind of thing. And I think North are going to be pretty good. The only thing that's really been hurting us back, and when you lose over 1,300 plus games worth of experience in a year, you miss out on like that kind of stuff, right? You miss out on the continuity. You miss out on a lot of kind of the connectiveness in a team. It looks like with the movement of Sheasel to the mid/forward line, a bit more of that has been worked out. And LDU isn't the only mainstayer as well, which is probably the big thing. If we had no Sheasel in there, if we had no Wardlaw in there, I would be more inclined to say LDU is going to fall off. Whereas I think if you're looking at bringing him in, you could do a lot worse. Like, I'm not saying he's going to average 120 from now on, but he's going to do very well. Like, he'll have to come up against a few taggers to really kind of knock him off, I think.
The thing, though, about LDU is that it's not all sunshine and rainbows. As much as I would love...
He kicks goals.
To say, yeah, he kicks goals. But as much as I would love to say it's going spectacularly, his CBAs the last 3 weeks have dropped significantly from the first 11 rounds. His last 3 rounds, he has dropped in the CBAs markedly. About 20% of CBAs he's dropped now on a weekly basis. And I'm not entirely sure if that is separate to the fact that he went for an MRI during the week. Is he playing fully fit and healthy and just sort of saving himself for the last quarter? It's hard, it's difficult. You've played 15 weeks of football. It's hard for you to be 100% cherry ripe. Everyone's carrying a niggle here or there.
Yeah.
But there's a clear drop.
I think, though, with LDU, it's almost better for him to have that little bit of a drop. Like, he's still playing 66% worth of game time, right? It's still 2/3 of game time. But spending that little bit more time on field, I wonder if you can have a look at his TOG, Joe, and see if his time on ground has gone up. Because I have a feeling that we've been resting him a little bit in the forward line, which means that there's more time on field, but also means that he can be that guy that runs around and kicks goals and does some other stuff as well in that kind of missed time. Like, his last 3 rounds have been fantastic. That has to correlate a little bit with his CBAs, right?
It seems to be still, well, he's had a drop these last 3, 88, 86, 86. Before that, 90, 88, 84, 88, 87, 83. It's still
it's pretty consistent.
In line with his normal time on ground, yes.
Okay. I don't mind. I think he's still a good player. Pick him up. Wow, he got 4 frees against on the weekend. Holy moly.
And he's still on a 148.
Yeah. Yep.
Imagine if he took that mark and kicked the goal at the end. Oh, my God.
North would be up and about. Tell you what.
You should still be up and about. What are you talking about? Thoughts on there being 2 Saturday 145 games? Personally, I don't mind it. But then again, wouldn't mind one of them on a Thursday night. So there's both standalone games.
Yeah, I think they're hopefully going to change the fixturing for that coming forward, into next year and whatnot. Obviously, there might be concerts, there might be other stuff happening between now and then that's going to stop a lot of things. But yeah. It's I think having 2 games on at the same time is bad. Is all I'm going to say. I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, I agree.
And they should put it.
I agree.
Like, people want to watch more football. They don't want to have to decide between 2 different teams. No one wants multi-game stream KO going on where half the game's here and you can only hear the volume and then you have to swap across to the next one, and it just doesn't work.
Is that actually what's happening this week? Are we going to actually have 2 145 games this week?
Yep.
145. Interesting. Very interesting. But I don't think we're going to do Thursday night sports night. I think maybe in the warmer weather, sure, at the start of the season. But when it comes to the winter, it's really hard for people to weeknights on a Thursday, cold, dreary, rainy conditions. Like, I would much prefer if they're going to have the Thursday night, if it's going to be in a closed stadium, for people in the wintertime to make it more bearable for people. But, during the school term, and it gets darker earlier as well for the youngsters, for the kids. So it's just about being family focused, I guess. I can understand why there's a drop off there. Thanks, Jen, for letting us know. Much love again, Jen. Richards is more likely to come back in round 17. So
yeah.
there you have it. Jen, our resident pie. And again, Velo, thanks very much for the dono.
I think Harry Sheasel's been moving in there a little bit.
So there's been a jump. Lazaro wouldn't be the one. Simpkin jumped up from 31%.
Will Phillips is the one that's been stealing it, I think.
And then Will Phillips as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's these two. Is that bad for LDU moving forward? Look, his last 3 weeks have been great, but then again, the matchups have also been favorable. No one for Collingwood can go toe to toe with LDU with those injuries that they've got.
Yep.
And then Melbourne had no Petrarca as well, so it's an interesting one. Look, I'm happy that I own him, and I'm happy that he's done good things for me. But are we going to be expecting this type of monster score from on a weekly basis? Don't get your hopes up. It's probably not going to happen. Cheese, mate. Thank you so much, brother. The worst thing about those two 145 games is half my team is playing in those games.
Yeah.
What do we got here? We got North and the Dogs and the Swans and the... Oh, that's true.
Yep. Yeah.
Sheasel,
Fisher, I hate it.
LDU, Bond, Richards, maybe McRae, if you have him, Heaney, Goulden, Warner, Grundy, Jackson, Sarong, Young,
Luke Ryan. Luke Ryan.
Luke Ryan. Does people have Jackson? Maybe.
People got Carl Warner as well. Like,
holy crap! These 2 games, legit half a team at 145.
It's pretty funny.
That's so funny, actually. I didn't even realize that. Adamo, with Hawkins out, does this make Jezza a potential F6 at 420k?
I think not. I think with Hawkins out, it makes it worse for Jezza Cameron. Because what? What's so funny?
I don't know. I just I read the question finishes eating.
I just like to think about it. I'll serve everyone what I made for dinner. I got some pretty spicy dinner today, guys. So sorry if you see me off camera, like having a squiz over there. I think the problem with Jezza Cameron and Hawkins being out is that now it goes back to Hawkins. So it goes back to Jezza Cameron taking the number 1 defender. And yes, he can move around and run up and down the ground and things like that, which helps. It helps a lot. But he's going to be taking the number 1 defender. As Joel says here. Sorry. No. As Joel says here, he's been on the wing. Now they've got no one else and they're pushing for finals. So he goes back to key position forward. And he's going to take the best forward every week. So, yeah. It's a tricky one.
Let's see. He's had a good last 3 weeks. 16 disposals, 21 disposals, 16 disposals, 3 goals, 3 for 102. And the run home for key forwards is pretty decent.
I got nice pork belly and broccolini and some rice. Very, very nice. That's what I'm going to say.
We do the hard work, so we eat the good food, so you don't have to.
Air Fry did the hard work tonight, I tell you what.
We eat the good food, so you don't have to.
That's a bit unfair.
Positive. Geelong. Where's Geelong? Where's Geelong's run home? It's not that great.
No.
For key
and
forwards.
with no, like, Jezza Cameron's going to take the number 1 defender, which is not great. So.
All right. So he's going to line up on Mackay. Mackay, super restrictive. Get around him. The Hawks, restrictive. Collingwood, he should do okay. The Dogs, I guess it depends on the extent of the injury.
For the price, I would go a Jai Simpkin at at 40K cheaper, or if you're really wondering about it, even a QnA at a little bit more expensive. Like, they would be two guys that I think you can probably get a better score out of. Like,
Yeah.
Jai Simpkin, I'm really hot on at the moment. He's playing well, and similar to an LDU, when the team looks better, it kind of brings up the rest of them. So yeah, I might bring in Jai Simpkin as a bench cover today, like bench cover this week. We'll just see.
Guys, I'm pretty sure this man was saying, "Don't get Jai Simpkin."
Yeah, and then Jai Simpkin scores 120 2 weeks in a row, and then that's fine. Like, yeah, it is what it is, as Velo likes to say.
You're a funny one. You are a funny one. Shawnee, g'day, mate. Do you think it's worth holding Oliver and doing 2 trades to gain Rosie, or just kick Oliver and save a trade? Kick him. Kick him. No?
I think this year, if Oliver's on field and covering like an M8 position for you, Sean, I think it's the best time to get the best players you can scoring you every week. I think that's the thing. And I think that's what you got to do with Oliver. Is just say, cool, Oliver's in. His scoring's not been great. Something's clearly wrong. Because even with Petrarca in the team, like, forget that. Let's pretend that's a 90 or a 95. As an M8, as an M8, it still sucks. So don't. Yeah, you need to start offloading. There's a reason why I got rid of a Tuke Miller and a few of these other players, because I didn't see them being a top contender in their position. I think Oliver's in the same spot as well. He was good. He was cheap. He looked okay. Scored a 124. Everyone jumped on him. And then that was it. Something's clearly happened. He's not stepped up, at least last week, with no Petrarca in the team, like Oliver would have done in previous years. So, yeah, it's not working out very well.
Fake premium this year. He'll be great next year, but this year is a fake primo for sure. Steele, yeah, 100%. I agree, Michael. That's what I'm saying. Like, I do like holding on to Steele. He'll come good. Chase, Nick Martin played majority forward, but got 112. Feels good to see him kicking like he did on the weekend. Got to watch it at the MCG. Had Jermaine Jones following him like a lost puppy a fair bit. You watched it at the MCG? We played at Marvel Stadium, bro. What are you talking about?
Maybe he had his KO on his phone and was looking at it.
He went to the MCG to watch it
that'd be pretty
on
funny.
KO.
Nick Martin's an interesting one. I don't think he's on the same level as a Sheasel, but I think there's definitely something to be said about his flexibility and being able to play in each position. Nick Martin's a fantastic player. We've always known he can play almost anywhere. Forward line, back line, whatever. It's just the disposal efficiency that killed him. That's the reason why he hasn't scored well. Remember when he debuted, Joe, and then he started playing on the wing and was getting like hundreds every week? We know he can do it. It's just about his disposal efficiency. So, yeah, they might play him in the forward line, might play him wherever.
He looked good on the forward line. He missed another 5 meters out and hit the post again. I don't quite understand why Nick Martin has an infatuation with poles. I don't know. Maybe he's bloody trying to be a pole dancer after he's finished or something. I don't know. He needs to stop hitting the post. This should have been a goal. Unbelievable.
Yep.
Kerno and Mackay could go nuts this week versus Richmond. Really only bolted. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I think as well, Harry versus Nank might do okay. So, yeah.
I got Kerno as captain this week. I got cheeky Charlie. I just Charlie's gonna go bananas. I don't know. I was gonna go bananas. How good was Tom Green?
Yep, pretty good. He saved our lives a little bit. I just hope that he can back it up to a certain extent. That's the big thing for me.
Trent Rivers is the GOAT. Yes, legend. You were calling for this for a long, long time. It's finally happened. And yes, he looked much better in the role, for sure.
Yep. Get him in your team if you want. That's about it.
Okay, fair enough. Jen had 13 out of 20 scoring over 100 and
Nice.
had the C
Nice work,
on
Jen.
merit.
Yeah. You beat me on C on merit. I tell you what, everything else not so bad. I think I legitimately had the C on merit nerded me, Joe. I had 16 scores over 100 this week. The only ones that didn't score well was Lockie Evans. Is it Lockie? No, Logan Evans. Sorry, Logan Evans, my number 18, and then obviously Luke Ryan.
12, 13. I had 14 over 100 this week.
Wow. That captaincy murdered me then. Like, really? That was like 60 points that I should have ended up, or maybe not 60, but 30 points I should have ended up getting more of.
Because these two frauds think they're rookies.
Yep.
Ryan should jump next week with Pierce out. We pray. Yep, for sure. Yep, he's but Jen, our resident Pie fan, reckons he'll be back around 17. Pendle's back, which means that if he stays healthy, his 400th will be against the Blues at the G. Oh
there you
my
go.
God.
There you go. And it really comes down to from there what happens. Now, I know it's not going to happen. I know 100% it's not going to happen. But there's a certain Pendlebury that now got a job working at North Melbourne. And I wonder if that's to try and swing his brother to come and coach / play his last, part of his career at North Melbourne. So we'll see what happens.
Why not? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, mate.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the Bombers tried it with Dunkley. They got the shitty Dunkley in trying to get the good Dunkley, but didn't work out that well.
It worked. No. It worked, and he nominated us. The problem is
Brisbane's
Bulldogs. The Bulldogs wouldn't let it go. They didn't let him go.
Yeah.
Pendles and Myercheck are back, and Dagoe is a maybe. Wow. Big ins. Big ins for the Pies. G'day, Kev. Need a player under $570. You're not going to find anyone that cheap.
No.
At $570, but we can look for $570K for you.
I do like Yo. I think he's run home and how he's been playing. I mean, the guy's only been poor in like 2 games for the year. And one of them, I think, was like he got subbed off due to injury. So, yeah, it's not. I think Dunkley's the way to go, though. If I was in your spot, it would be a Bailey Dale or a Dunkley. And I like Dunkley. I think Dunkley's very good. I think Brisbane have a fantastic run home. And Brisbane are going to push hard for finals. Like, legitimately, Brisbane are going to try and swing as like hard finals as they can. I would be going, like, trying to jump on that train as quick as you can.
It's a good goal, Joel. That's a bloody good goal.
Why not? Why not? I mean, North Melbourne are the team that if you don't come to us, at least you get a better contract. So something to be said. Something to be said there.
North Melbourne just doing every player loves North because you either get paid to play for him or you get paid by your team, regardless.
To stay. To stay.
To stay, exactly.
Or get paid bigger money to go somewhere else.
On your palm. Go ahead, Michael. How's it going, man? Flag Pies, how's it going?
Yep.
VC, anyone who plays us. That's what I'm doing this week. Big Zorko, my VC. Sorry, legend. Michael, Big O, the Gorn Wrecker. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
He's a very good player for all his faults and whatever not. Like, even Oscar McInerney's been kicking goals recently, Joe.
Yeah, I know. And that's why there was some guy, I forgot who it was, a few weeks ago, that was talking about the Big O. And we said, there's no way you have the Big O. Next thing you know, this guy is going on an absolute tear, I'm pretty sure. Oscar McInerney, he had a ripping game on the weekend as well. Like, he's actually had a great run home all of a sudden. He's gone, apart from that 76, he's gone 120, 113, 131, 126. He's been doing very well.
He's a good player.
He kicked 3 goals on the weekend. First time ever he's kicked 3 goals in his career. Congratulations to the Big O.
Thanks, mate.
Do you guys think Will Day is a play this week, or is he too expensive now?
How much is Will Day?
I love Will Day. I've been talking about Will Day since the dawn
I
of time.
really like Will Day as well.
He's 576. I love Will Day.
I think at this point in the season, Cheese, you want to start bringing pods into your team. As Ab says, pods are the thing that are going to make and break the difference for you. Will Day is clearly the best player in this team, and he's scoring well. So can you pick him over an LDU at probably 60K more? So 60K less, potentially. I don't know if he competes with a few of the other players, though. But you need to start looking for pods, everyone. That's what we're doing at this point.
Look at his run home. He's got West Coast, Geelong, Freo, Collingwood, Adelaide, Giants, Carlton, Richmond, North. Like he's got a good run. I would have loved to have Will Day weeks ago, but I had a full premium midfield team. So no, I love Will Day. Get him in. You'll enjoy it. G'day, Lock. I've finished my team, and I have Grundy and English in ruck. I could sideways English to Gawn and a dead rook to a playing rook and have 3 trades left. Is that a good idea or too low of trades?
I don't mind the 3 trades depending on what your bench cover looks like. As long as you've got guys who are playing across each line, I think you'll be okay.
I reckon Hold'em, Grundy, and English.
I just don't know why. Why is everyone jumping off Tim English?
Because he's shit.
He scored like a 130 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but
shit.
He had a favourable matchup. Who did he play against? Oh, he played against friggin' Collingwood, who only had
one ruck.
Who only had Darcy Cameron.
Nah, I think English will be okay. I think similar to Brisbane, the Dogs are going to want to push into the top
Fremantle.
So, the Dogs are going to want to push into the top 8, which means that he's going to be okay. Like we jumped off Grundy when he had a similar run of scoring. Don't feel like you just need to throw a trade at English. We don't know what the rest of the season's going to happen. 3 trades is okay. You can finish your team on 3 trades. I might have 3 trades left. But yeah, I think you're going to be okay.
I hate you. Just a little bit. Not a lot. Just a little
saying
bit.
Me.
No, not you. Sorry. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at those no spicker to English eyes. To think I started him over Gawn. Bloody hell. Cheese. Is TDK going to be the next ruck? Yeah, well, he's hard not to be. As long as they play him and they look unreal with him alone, for sure.
They need to play him solo, which is the big thing. If he plays with Pitnet or anyone else, it really hurts. Mackay's not taking a lot of that time off him. If they do, if they're smart, they won't play Pitnet again. And then, he'll be fine.
Thoughts on Brown as a downgrade option? I reckon he's cemented his spot in that game-saving tackle on the weekend where he got holding the ball middle of the ground. I reckon he's bought himself job security. I think they're going to play him. And I think he'll be worthwhile. He's got the DPP, which is also really beneficial. I reckon you can get him, Jen.
Yeah, I hope he plays because I put him in last week.
Yeah, me too. Joshua, as a Bomber living in Geelong, it's imperative we win. I'm sick of losing to this team. Mate, I hear you. They really are a bogey team for us, and every time we play them, they pull our pants down and smack us about. It's ridiculous. The embarrassing, it's like I almost fear the players have PTSD when they see Geelong colours. My dad went to go pick up a car from Geelong. We drove all the way to Geelong to pick up the car. I went in my Bombers windbreaker. I said, stuff you. I hate you and Cats. We're going to win. Get around us, Josh. Get around us.
Yeah. I think it's the perfect time. With the Bombers, we won't turn into the Bombers stream like some people said earlier. But with the Bombers, I think you guys have been so blessed by fixtures. Like, how could you have said, cool, Geelong have so many players out, their team's not great, and now they've just lost their other key forward. Like, cool, all right. And then Dangerfield, probably their best player that's left, is potentially getting going to get suspended. Like, come on, man.
Mate, you need some luck. You need some luck. Luck is a skill.
Next, we'll hear Chris Scott has got gastro and can't even coach this week. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, get rid of Oliver. Get rid of Oliver for sure, Jay. A downgrade to get Rosie is a blessing at this point.
Yep.
Final forward premium next week, or look to trade Sullivan and Fraser for my F6.
Yeah,
they're not going to lose money. You can have him for another week and get someone good next week. So far, just got the one trade. Yeah, that's fine. Is Rivers an option now? Is Rivers?
I think he's going to play a bit more mid-time and score okay, but I don't think it's enough to put your hand on your heart and say, cool, like he's going to be enough for me. I think it will be the most insane pod move you can ever see in your life, but anything can happen at any point. You're not bringing in an established midfielder. That's the only problem. There's other options around, like a Rosie or a Jai Simpkin or someone else, who I think could be a potential better option for you. Yeah.
What did Rivers score on the weekend, actually? I don't remember.
Pretty decent, I think.
I mean, he should have with 80% CBAs. Bloody hell. That's very impressive. He scored 131. Get around him. What's Melbourne's run like for inside mids? Not the best. Brisbane, West Coast, Essendon, Fremantle, Giants, Western Bulldogs. I don't reckon that's a bad run. I don't think that's a bad run at all. Brisbane's tough, sure. West Coast should be fine. Bombers, we don't have Parrish, so contested midfielders are doing really well. So I think this is actually not a bad matchup. Fremantle, on their day, they can be hit or miss. Giants, sure, that's tough. Dogs, depends if Libba's still around. Port Adelaide, they got taken to the clans by Brisbane this week. Gold Coast, where they're playing, depends where they play. And then Collingwood, I don't know. I reckon Rivers is definitely an option now, for sure. Flag Pies, I realized just before the last match last week, needed another player to secure my main league match. So I traded in Will Powell as an Ultra Pod. Very happy with the 117.
Why not?
Very nice.
I always thought he'd be a good player, especially with Sexton coming back. Powell was always going to take that halfback role. So,
correct.
Like, 460K is not too bad.
Yep. Ben, keep 4 injury trades or 2 and a 23rd player?
It depends what your for me, then it really depends on what your like D6/M8/F6 type play is. If you've got a Kerno, if you've got a Tom Green or someone of that caliber as that type of player who are good players who might have a good run home but aren't a guaranteed 100 every week, I think having the 23rd player may save you a lot of points down the track because you can always, if you take it as a midfielder, you can always loop Tom Green almost every week. You know he's going to have those crappier scores. You can loop him, throw someone else who's going to score well. I do not mind the 2 and 23, depending on what your team looks like.
They're both much for muchness, I feel. Like, he's still going to get 22 scores every week. Do you keep the 4 trades in case you have more injuries? There's still plenty of football left to go. I don't know. It's much for muchness for me, personally. Just get the players who are cheap. Like, if you can get Rosie, who's value, and he will be a great 23rd, I think. See if you can get him in 1. Charlie, Rankin or Caldwell?
I like Rankin, but I think Caldwell gets tagged less.
Oh, for sure. No one's gonna ever tag Caldwell. There's no you're gonna just send someone straight to Zach. Zach Merritt, without a doubt, is the one who cops a tag every week. No one's tagging Joy, that's for sure. But Rankin is taggable, will be the tag target, but he's also capable of scoring more than Caldwell as well. So if you want upside, Rankin. If you want maybe more stability, probably Colders. For cheaper as well, especially for the price difference.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth bringing the Warlord in as the final primo?
Oh, if you're ballsy, Velo, if you're ballsy, I love me a bit of George Wardlaw, and mate, ever since the bye, when Clarko came in and said, "Hey, pull your finger out, team. We don't want pick one again." George Wardlaw's been on a tear, man. Look at that scoring, Joe. Holy moly, this guy was cheap coming into West Coast. Not bad, not bad. I really like it. If you can pick him and like you want someone exciting to watch in football, it might not work out for you, but if you want someone who's exciting to watch, 100%. Let me just see what George Wardlaw is mid only. That's the only thing.
Correct.
But 506. I said at the start of the year, we're not picking Wardlaw this year, but next year he's someone to consider.
Yeah.
Mate, he's getting there, Joe. He's getting there. I'll tell you what.
So exciting, man. So exciting. He's just a hustle and bustle, just bashes people up. Love to see it. Great tackling machine as well. He's obviously got injury history.
So you're not a North Melbourne midfielder if you don't have injury history.
Correct. Harry Y, Rankin or Kerno F6? Kerno. For the price, Kerno.
Yeah, the price is the big thing.
Michael, question: is it fair for Cementhead and Flying Ryan to be dudded by Supercoach? After all, kicking and running the wrong way was on. That was pretty. I don't know who Cementhead is, but I do remember Flying Ryan first opening bounce. He ran the wrong way.
Who was it? It was Sanders, right? Maybe he's talking about Sanders.
Oh,
Sanders ran the wrong way. Yeah, that was pretty funny. He took the ball and everyone was looking at him like, "Hey, which way are you going, mate? We're going this way."
No, Cementhead apparently is Cullen Ward.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not watch that.
It's just funny. Just those funny things in Supercoach.
I have plenty of trades left and a finished team. All right, Mad Flex, cool.
Sure. All right,
I have
thanks,
Green,
Harry.
Rowell, and Walsh instead of Merritt. Would you recommend trading one of them out for Merritt?
Green, Rowell, and Walsh instead of Merritt.
Maybe Walsh? Nah, get rid of Rowell. Rowell is shit. Rowell's a fake.
I would almost say get rid of Green. Keep Walsh. Walsh's run home. Walsh's run home is decent. But if you have to trade someone purely on form this week, heading into round 16, Rowell 100%.
Rowell is pathetic. I can't believe I'm stuck with him for the rest of the season. It's disgusting. I'm so sad. Harrison, do I keep Warner? So frustrating watching him plummet in price. Where can I get a guaranteed top 8 when I can get a guaranteed Neil?
Yes, trade. And this is what I said before, right? I've been saying this for weeks and weeks. Get rid of the players that you're not happy cheering about in Supercoach. We've got 9 rounds to go. If you're not happy about them, they're obviously not scoring well. It's okay to offload these players. Getting in a pod, getting in a player that is on a tear, like Joe did with LDU 2 weeks ago, is going to make or break your season and usually works out well because you can see, the form and what's been happening. So 100%, like trade him. If you're not happy with the player, don't lose hair over it. Say, cool, see you later. That's it. No worries. It's that simple.
What I see with LDU scoring last 3 is less CBAs and bigger scores might be something in that for North future. Very true.
Probably.
Very true.
Whatever works,
I'm
mate.
hoping Rosie gets DPP to swing him forward later, given it's hard to find a good cheapie forward. There were plenty. There were plenty around, Sean. But even now, Kerno not out of reach. Mackay not out of reach. Simpkin, Jai Simpkin not out of reach. There's a few people that you can get in.
Yep. Don't need to worry.
Is Oliver just a hold and use as a coverage on the bench? Oliver is a punt. Oliver is a
tricky one, man.
Is a get in the bin type of coverage.
If you can trade Oliver, I would trade him. If Oliver, at what's his price at the moment? Let me just check.
It's so tragic because I love watching Clary play.
Oliver is now 550, so 458. Crazy thing is, like, I look at his season stats going back to his price. Oliver is almost back to his bargain basement price. Like what people got him at. Shit's pretty crazy, man. Like, he's fallen as far as what he's fallen back again. So yeah, I was hoping to spend like a Freeja or a Sullivan plus a Tom Green and get a primo in, who at least was a good consistent scorer. If I was in your spot, having Oliver on field instead of the bench, I would do that this week. Get in the guaranteed player that you know is going to score well. Yeah. Don't keep Oliver if you can.
Warner is copying all the tags, but Warner was done dirty last game by champion data, wet conditions, and Warner kept getting turnovers when he kicked it to a 50-50 contest. It's sometimes they're called criminal data for a reason, legend. The air fryer is the best invention ever. Here. Zijika 0508. Hey, Jen, stuck on what to do this week. Either Oliver to Rosie, then Fife to Mackay or Simpkin, or Oliver to McKercher, then Fife to Kerno. Appreciate the help. Well, the McKercher one is pretty good because you would have Dacos in defense and McKercher in the mids. So you could end up having the DPP between the lines, which is pretty good.
I like the second one.
Anya Zijika. It's hard to say your name, bro. It's really hard to say it. But I love trying to challenge myself to say it. Joel, everyone seems to be fading on Rankin as F6. Any reason? Exactly, Cheese. Probably because we can't afford him.
No. Well, yeah, like fading on him because of that, obviously. The guy's bloody expensive, and if you got him in 3 weeks ago, you'd be happy. It's more just the matchup. A lot of people saying that he's going to get tagged. It's either him or Dawson, really. And if he's moving into the midfield, I think he's going to get tagged. So, yeah, it's something to look out for. We've said the last few weeks, Joel, that the rest of the season is really going to be about matchups and who's going to cop the tag and who's good against what team and whatnot. And it's hard to pick any player from Adelaide at the moment. Like, Nix is on the chopping block, mate. We don't know what's going on.
Exactly. We've been looking at Adelaide's next few games. He got the Giants. Tough matchup. Brisbane. Neutral. I still think Brisbane's a pretty tough matchup. The Brisbane are in good form now. St Kilda should do okay, but he could win Hager.
Yeah.
Bombers. Us without Darcy Parish, midfielders are scoring better against us these days. So I think he should be okay against us. The Hawks, on their day, they can be really hard to beat. Geelong, he should be fine. Dogs. I mean, it's not a promising run home. It really isn't a promising run home for Rankin, is the thing. For that price as well, it's a lot to be gambling.
Yeah, it is. It's not great.
Zach, Harry Shearsall looks class in his new role. Would suck if you got rid of him when he changed the roles.
Yep. A lot of people did, and then they had to bring him back 3 weeks later. And they missed out on some monster scores. So Harry Shearsall's a gun. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Joe, while we're going through the comments, I have a stat for you. Who, since round 13, so what would be round 16 now? Who since round 13 is the number one pressure side in the AFL?
North Melbourne, I'm going to guess.
North Melbourne, bro. Imagine that. Imagine that. Number one pressure side in the AFL for the last 3 weeks. Come on down. Tell you what.
Mate, it was way too obvious. Like, you're seriously going to tell me out of the blue, I've got this random stat here. Guess who it is? Nah, that's awesome. It's good to be number one in a positive stat. Well done.
Yeah,
well
I know,
done.
right? Oh,
my bad. Yeah, all good. I'm teasing you, Cheese. I'm teasing you. Clary will be under 400k by season's end. Already dropped to 15.
Yeah, and he might turn into Tom Green from 2 years ago, where we tried to bring him in at like 350k. That could totally be Clary.
Yeah, that Clary ain't coming back this season. By the looks of things, legend. I'm sorry to say.
You should have traded Petty, and you should have traded Clary. Like, unfortunately, that's just the situation. Melbourne's in the pits at the moment. Especially with Dawn probably on his last legs too.
Oh, don't get either, Theo. Don't get either.
No.
Stewart or Mass?
No.
No.
Well, what's he doing for price? How much, Theo, how much money you got left? Let us know in the comments how much money, and we'll figure out some plays for you.
461. So he's got roughly 461.
Who can he afford at 461?
Mate, get McKercher. McKercher's better. Get Rivers. Rivers is better.
Rivers is now playing midfield, apparently.
Yeah. He's going to be playing midfield for the rest of the season. He looked so good. Get either Rivers or McKercher, I reckon. They're going to be better options. Yeah, 100%. Didn't hit the post. That was a crap call. Should be a 130 score. He was robbed. Mate, we were all so confused. 100% Chase at the ground. That was very confusing. All of a sudden, we just see a random spike on edge. Mate, someone farted and put the microphone next to their butt. That wasn't actually
the guy slipped. He slipped. Yeah, that was it.
100%. That's bullcrap. Rankin better than Curnow? Oh, I don't know, Cheese. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Oliver, 100% a trade. It's hard to play good footy when your teammates hate you and your cocaine withdrawal symptoms are kicking in mid-game.
Pretty true.
That would be very hard.
He's just off form. Melbourne's in a lot of trouble. Losing Petrarca hurt a lot more than what they thought, and I think.
Oh yeah.
Rebuild time for Melbourne, I think.
Yeah. Cheese Stinklet at halfback is a good shout out too.
Yeah, 100%. I'd bring him in if I had the cash.
Yeah, but we only saw it for one game. Like, we don't know if that role is sticking. Like, is the thing. Like, imagine you see him play one game halfback and then he never has that role again and he goes back to that poor scoring. You'd cry. You would cry, I think. Big J, what do you think about Dylan Stephens as an option for a final spot in my team? He's really good at kicking it to the other team.
Mate, you should pick Zach Fisher then too, because he's really good at fumbling the ball and kicking to the opposition. So, mate, you want to talk about shit, I'll tell you what.
Oh, that's funny. VC Neil or Zorko? Mate, they both could pop off. I don't have Neil, so I'm limited to Zorko.
Yeah. I think at some point Neil has to cop the tag, though. I was very surprised that Port Adelaide didn't put a hard tag on a lot more of these players. Somehow they thought, Zach Butters on a player, and then I don't even know who the hell was Drew playing on last week. McCluggage. Who tags McCluggage? Come on, Ken Hinkley. What the? Come on, man. You get smashed by Neil and Dunkley. Oh, we're going to go tag McCluggage.
Who then goes and kicks a goal anyway.
Yeah, he must have gone anti-pod in Supercoach. Be like, oh, mate. Yeah.
Mate, Port was shit. Was shit. Gone 70 game against Big O. He played 55-45 with Luke Jackson. True.
Now, if we were playing Dream Team, Dylan Stephens would be okay. But in Supercoach, mate, he's not good.
Walsh milked that free against Dangerfield, headbutted the ground himself. Jeez.
No.
Jeez. Come on, man.
He took his arms away and rode him straight into the ground. There's no chance.
Yeah. No Hawkins and Dangerfield should make Essendon and Monty this week. You'd hope so.
Yeah.
I traded Oliver to Rivers within
There you
0.5
go.
seconds of Supercoach opening.
There you go. Now, I have a question for any Port fan in the chat. I'm potentially looking at bringing in a Josh Sim this week because I need someone to cover a position. Is he going to play? And do we want him in our teams? That's the question. So let me know in the chat. Or otherwise, I'll just wait for whichever guy gets named.
Yeah, so that's probably the reason why I'm not going to get him. I'm just going to get McKercher, I think. If McKercher's named, I'm getting McKercher and
I can get McKercher.
So I think McKercher in that role out-averages Simpkin, out-averages
Really?
Mackay.
Okay.
Huh? Yeah, he does.
Okay.
He does. Did we not see what McKercher was doing before he got injured?
I know how good of a player he is. So that's not an issue.
What is the issue then?
North's backline has got busier and busier since McKercher left. I don't know if he keeps up the level of scoring.
It just means more supply. It just means more supply.
Not more supply. Supply and demand, huh?
Supply and demand, baby.
Yeah, McKercher 31 touches. I think he only played limited game time as well, so he looked very good. The kid's too good to play VFL. Like
Correct.
Just one of those games.
Correct. Can you keep Sexton as an F7 or is he done?
I don't even know if he's probably good for a 70 every week. Yes, he did score an 80 on the weekend, but I think he's probably good for a 70 every week. And at that price, I think he's still at 400k. Let me just
trade him out. Upgrade.
Yeah,
Get the best you can.
I'd look to trade. If he's still around the 400k mark, get the most you can get out of him. Trade him off to a player. Rosie, Simpkin, even a McKercher probably end up scoring more than him. It's worth doing, mate.
Kind of crazy how we have the most players playing under 22 years of age and we're supposed to be contending for a flag. It's a good place to be in, Legend.
They're good. If they're not good, then yeah.
No, you got some good young talent coming through. I'm not. You're just going through a speed hump at the moment. It's sizable, but you can navigate through it.
I think the problem with Melbourne is the forward line, and that's been the problem for a very long time. You brought in guys like Ben Brown, who was good for a week, for a year, and then has really fallen off, and it's never really been addressed. Van Ruwen's a great player, but you almost needed to throw the wall at another good key forward. Someone who's consistent. Petty is not a number one, and that's always been the big issue. So,
Nope.
You've got guys coming through, and a few of the older guys are getting too old. When Lever comes back, it's going to be better, but I hate to say it, Joe, but the sole reliance on Max Gawn as the only ruckman in that team kind of hurts a little bit. That Cherry bodied the crap out of Max. You know what Max Gawn said? Max Gawn said Cherry is the best ruckman he's played against this year. His strongest opponent. So, I think Legend's beating himself up a little bit too much about the game, but just in general, I think Melbourne's got a few holes.
Mate, he hasn't played against Sammy Draper yet this year. Calm it down.
I don't think Sammy Draper's played against anyone this year, has he?
No, he's barely played, yeah.
There you go.
Rory Laird is a pod, says Dreezy. He is a pod.
Yep.
A good pod is the question.
If I had enough cash to get Rory Laird in, I would have got Rory Laird in.
Really? Off of one game?
He's looking good, man. I don't think he cops the tag.
He had to buy this week. He had one.
No, but I mean, at 520k, I think he looks really good.
Fair enough. You're true. Fair enough. Brayshaw at 502k is great value, says Yanko.
Yep. I don't know. I don't trust Brayshaw. I don't trust Brayshaw. I think Brayshaw had one good game, but he normally isn't that great.
I don't know what you said that was wrong, but Wardlaw is a gun.
I did say Wardlaw was a gun.
No, you didn't. You said he was shit.
I didn't say he was shit.
I know, I'm kidding. Raul is done. Raul tricked us all. Get rid of him. Absolute potato. Take that, your point chasers. Get out of here, Joel. That was good. It was looking good. It was looking good. The roll was good, and I feel like a fish. I've been caught hook, line, and sinker, mate. Young core. Merit, no Hugh games this year, like 160. Raul will bounce back, Joe. Coming down, abs.
Well,
abs.
The thing,
I'm not abs.
We flagged this happening with Merit, right? We said earlier on in the season that Merit was going to have to share time with your Caldwells, with your Durhams, with a few of these other players, because that's how the team gets better. If it was rely on Merit, sure, his Supercoach score would be higher, but I don't think they'd be winning. And I think that's what they're trying to do. They're playing consistent football, and he can do really well. And cool, his floor has definitely improved a lot more, but his ceiling's just not there at the moment. So, yeah, there's a lot of players who are kind of not taking the ball, but are sharing the ball around a bit more, I think.
He's been tagged back-to-back weeks for 125 and 135.
Oh, West Coast don't tag. And then what happened against Gold Coast, and then Richmond, and then North, and then GWS, and then West Coast? Like,
well, he was tagged by Shields.
He hasn't been tagged 8 weeks in a row.
He was tagged by Shields. Gold Coast were playing up and over there. Slippery conditions. I don't remember if someone tagged him or not. I don't think so. But he had 3 behinds, and all 3 of them were kickable. He could have had a massive monster score here. You know what I mean? Like, nah, Zach has been great. Like, you can't say he's been a failed selection. He's absolutely
I'm not saying he has been a failed selection. I'm just saying that there's a reason why his scoring just isn't as high as what we've seen in previous years. Like, the ceiling's not there.
Mate, look at the ceiling on his hair. Like,
you would have to change like the team.
Look, he starts off presentable, neat. So that's a bit long, and then he realizes, oh, not too long. Gotta go short again. And then it's like, you know what? That looks bad. Let's grow it out again. You know what? Let's go even more hair. And then and now he sort of.
What happened in 2021? Did he get like married or something? And then he was like, oh, cool. Like, he looks happy, and then he's just like, 2021 happened. Oh, now he's back to being happy again last year. What happened?
I don't know.
Not listening to the stream, guys. Sorry.
Yeah. Mate, we try to have some fun, guys. We try to have some fun.
Yeah.
Dawson, a sideways, if you have the trades, has a few tags coming up, it looks like, and has a very shaky role because Nix is a useless coach and doesn't understand his value of his own captain.
I would definitely look at doing it, I think. There's a few options there for around the same price, and I think this is the time to jump off these type of players. You've got 8 weeks to go, or 9 weeks to go in Supercoach. Would you rather have someone that you know is going to score 100 every week and look really good, or someone you hope scores 100 every week? Like, yeah. And you've already flagged that he's got tags coming up, and he looks to have a shaky role, and they've got tough matchups. Like, there's 3 reasons right there why you should probably spend 1 trade with some cash and upgrade to someone better.
Yep, for sure. Merritt looks like Angus Monfries. It's true. He does look a bit like Angus Monfries. It's very true. Michael, okay, let's have some fun at the back end. Outs Oliver and Sexton, ins Curnow and Reed. Yeah, Harley Reid is back in. Let's go.
Do it 100%, mate. Chuck it in. Make it happen. Like, you've got coverage there, hopefully.
Yep.
I'd probably go McKercher, but then you could have coverage off like across all 3 lines, but whatever works for you.
Oliver started his end of season booger sugar celebrations too early.
Mate, he had a good time in the bye round, I tell you what.
Oh yeah. I hate watching Goulden so much because I don't have him, lol.
Yep, and he was available at like 560k. Sucks. And Warner's going to cop the tag, and his role running up and down the wing kicking goals is too good. Sydney are very, very strong, and it's something to be said about picking up players from Sydney now and Brisbane now and a few of these other players now, the guys that are going to be jumping up the rankings, or the ones that are either going to be climbing the ranks in the next 8 weeks or trying to hold their spot in the next 8 weeks. Like, I wouldn't be picking up a Freo player, for example. I wouldn't be picking up, let me pick up another team. I probably wouldn't be picking up a Collingwood player potentially or a GWS player now because, like, they're not going up the ladder or trying to hold their spot. They're kind of stuck top 8, but middle of the table. It's a tough position to be in.
Simpkin or Rankin for points till end of the season?
Ooh, interesting.
Neither. Both hammy point. Can we say Curnow?
Yeah, probably Curnow. We'll see. Curnow can't kick 5 goals every week. That's the problem.
He can. With that run home, it's bloody
Can he kick 5 goals every week?
Mate, when they're getting kissed with all the free kicks under the sun, mate, like they get so many free kicks. I wish Peter Wright got half or a quarter of the free kicks that this guy gets.
Yeah.
5 goals, 2. 4 frees. 4 of them.
Yep.
And you look at them and they were so soft.
So some of them weren't in the forward line, though. That's the thing. Like a couple of them were, but some of them weren't in the forward line. So it's
most of them were.
Nah.
They were.
Nah, there was a couple upfield. It goes back to what we were saying before about Curnow taking marks in the backline. That backline mark, that single intercept, that was worth like 18 points, Joe. That one right there.
Yep, exactly. You already got Curnow? All right, get Caldwell then.
Yeah, probably.
Good evening, Aero. How's it going, mate?
How you doing?
Sam DeConning, permanent ruck, 350. Is he gonna be a permanent ruck though? Is he?
No,
he was crap in the ruck.
And Scott wants to try and keep his final spot, man. He's gonna fluff around with all the positions until something fits. So yeah, I think that was more a hey, brother on brother punch on than anything else.
I think the logic for getting rid of Sheezel was there, but yeah, happy I held. Yep. Think of sidewaysing Rowell to either Laird, Wardlaw, or McCluggage, looking for something poddy.
Yeah, I think Laird's the way to go for that. Laird looks good. The age is probably not the best thing for him, but like pod status is 100% there. There's not going to be many people that have got him, and that's what Abs has done too. Abs has brought in Laird this week. Got to look for those guys with low ownerships in the top 1,000, so you can jump up the rankings if he scores well. So yeah.
Clarko isn't allowed to yell at refs.
Oh, I tell you what, Clarko's not apparently allowed to question the AFL umpires either. There was a thing that came out during the game, or not like press conference saying, yeah, no, I can't comment. AFL said don't talk about the umpires. So, yeah, umpiring can be shit. We get shafted. Clarko can't yell at anyone.
Correct. I like Ed Richards, Lachlan. I like him.
I like him. And that's the thing. Dogs pushing up for a top 8 spot. Like, the Dogs are one of those teams. If you've got an Ed Richards or a Bailey Dale, jump on them because they're going to be forcing their way into the top 8. So, yeah, which usually means better scoring.
It's true, Velo. Just need intent. Flip fish into the back line and get Curnow. Yep. Hey, boys, question. Who's the only player in Supercoach to score over 100 in every game? Bit of research for you experts. How would you even quickly look that up?
Just look for 100 average and then go for it.
Nah, that doesn't count. If you do 100 average, because you could balance that out. I reckon it's probably the Sexy Boy. I'm not sure Sexy Boy has ever. I don't think Sexy Boy has ever let me down.
I think it is Flanders. I think it is Flanders from memory.
He's never let me down.
Score. Yep. No, it's Flanders so far.
Has he gone under 110 all season?
Yes. So he's had 120. He's had a 102, a 105, and a 108.
He's had 3 scores under 110. Wow.
Yep. And people didn't start him, and people didn't bring him in until like round 10. Yeah. Bit crazy, huh?
He is. I love this guy to bits. I love him. I was his staunchest of supporters in the preseason, man. Like every content creator, I don't know how many content creators we spoke to on the Supercoach launch night.
Mhm.
People were like, really? Flanders? I'm like, yep. He's going to do better than last year. Really?
Mhm.
I'm like, yep. I'm willing to take it to the bank. Sexy boy he's going to be F1. I didn't know Heaney was going to decide to try and turn into Gary Ablett Sr., but I thought Flanders would be F1 for the season. I was pretty confident on that.
Yeah.
Alex, Mike King, TDK will take my rank from 370 top 100, 121 average in 8 games as Solo Rock while the team.
He's doing very, very well, man. He's doing very well. Like it's literally just got to be Pitnet coming back to fuck everything up. He's doing very well.
Kevin, if I trade Oliver, I can go McKercher and Kerno, McKercher and Rosie, McKercher and Simpkin, or Simpkin and Rosie. Which two should I go? Tinks.
Mate, is this a Dr. Zeus like book? McKercher and Rosie. McKercher and I don't know. That was a bad joke.
Green eggs and ham, Sam. I am.
There you go. McKercher and Kerno. Look, if you want DPP, you probably go McKercher and Simpkin. I think is the best two. In terms of pure scoring, I think you probably go McKercher and Kerno.
I like McKercher.
If you go McKercher and Simpkin, you've got coverage across all 3 lines. Then. So
true.
Probably better.
True. Aussie Goat thoughts? Any thoughts on Taranto? Mate, he's pretty good. He's a pretty darn good player, Taranto.
He is.
I'll give him that. You know what I mean? Like I probably said it maybe 3 weeks ago that I like him at his price, that he was really good. Yo, he had a beard.
Taranto?
Yeah. Wait, where'd his face go? Look at this.
Yeah.
I swear.
That COVID year, Joe. Tell you what, razors were expensive back then. No one had razors.
Someone came and scribbled on his face. That's the ugliest beard I have ever seen in my life. I can see why he shaved it again immediately after. Mm-hmm. Holy crap. Meanwhile, he's been doing very well. But is he going to be top 8 to 10? He won't. Disposal efficiency will always let him down. Always.
And I think Richmond not winning as many games probably hurts a bit more too.
Correct. What's he priced at? If you want, is he cheap enough for an M9?
How much is he priced?
Taranto, 564.
No chance. No, you just gonna get Roy Laird if you want an M9.
Or get Laird, yeah. No, not Taranto. Who is a good defender, mid and forward, primo to get? Have 604.
Are we picking one of each, Jen, or are we picking one?
We can't afford all 3 for 604k.
I don't know. Jen might have a really good amount of money left.
604k, mate. You're living life to the fullest. 604.5k. Average. Just one. Okay. Just one.
All right.
Tom DeConning. No, but he's a ruckman.
This guy was a forward eligible player. Holy moly. I really like Jack Sinclair. I think his run home's great. I don't know what happens with Nazaya coming back this week, though, and St Kilda's inability to win games. Does that mean that Sinclair plays a little bit more backline, potentially losing some score, potentially? I wouldn't be touching Houston, though. Harry Sheasel's really good, though. If you want a pod, get Sinclair from the backline. Bailey Dale as well could be a good shout. Or even an Elliot Yeo. I think he's going to play a bit more of that mid-time. So he's one that has good DPP cover. Midfield only, Joe? We've got any good midfield onlys?
Will Day? Zach Merritt? George Wardlaw?
No, I wouldn't be touching Wardlaw.
What's wrong with the Warlord, mate?
Don't hurt yourself, Jim. Don't do it. That's all I'm going to say.
It's you got to have some fun. You got to have a little bit of fun. I like Zach. I like Zach personally, Jen. Taking McLuggage is clearly for our family members. There's bets on sports bet. Agreed. I've gone Fife and McNeil, Sekono and Schoenmaker or Evans. Hadn't quite decided on the rookie. We'll need to wait for team sheets to see what Schoenmaker does with Nazaya coming back in. Nazaya, but Schoenmaker played awesome. Like, Schoenmaker should not get dropped. He played wonderful. I honestly reckon they should play him over Bonner. He had a beautiful foot. He was so good.
Yeah. Anyone noticed?
And
I just got splashed by my water. That's pretty fun.
And he took kick-ins as well. So Schoenmaker ticked a lot of boxes. The problem for him is that the bye came right after, and I worry that Ross forgot how good Schoenmaker was.
Yep, I think that's going to happen too.
But I reckon he should keep his spot for sure. Someone like Bonner who provides nothing can get stuffed. He can get in the bin. I reckon Schoenmaker should hold his spot, and I'm pretty sure everyone was really pleased with his output as well.
Yeah.
What do you think was your worst trade of the season, and what was your best trade of the season?
Worst trade of the season was probably fluffing around with James Jordan. For me, bringing James Jordan in, bringing James Jordan out, cost me 2 trades, cost me 2 boosts, which I would have been very, very happy to keep. Didn't really do anything extra for me in the primo hunt as well, which was a big issue. And not starting McKercher, starting Sam Berry over McKercher, and then having to spend a boost to get McKercher back into my team was probably the worst thing for me this season. What about you, Joe? Oh, best trade of the season. Who do I have that's the best trade of the season? Luke Ryan. When I brought in Luke Ryan, it sucks not having Nick Martin and Young, because they've both been consistent enough scorers. You'd be happy to have them. But grabbing Luke Ryan when I did, and him going 130 was bananas.
What the heck happened to Supercoach? I'm not starting Sheasel was really annoying. I decided I wasn't going to have James Jordan, but trading him in, getting sucked into Billings.
Billings.
Getting sucked into Billings.
Billings! You're trying to convince me Billings was a good pick.
like round two was just effed, right? Look at this. Round 2. Gipkis injured ACL. Fisher, Martin. Bro, why? I don't want the faces to pop up. And then to get Jordan and Billings in. That was so bad. So annoying. This round just started. Dawson underperformed from the beginning, was terrible.
Yep.
I traded Powell, who also wasn't great.
Powell
Young
was serviceable. Powell was serviceable for the price.
Look at that. I used a boost to get this fraud in.
That's what I'm saying.
Both
and
Jordan
then
and
three
Billings.
3 weeks later, get him out again. 2 weeks later,
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Jordan and Billings out 2 weeks later to get Dempsey, who had a price rise. What then happened? Freaking this. Grundy to Marshall. Oh. Grundy to Marshall, man. Grundy to Marshall. And trading out Howes before he then goes on to make so much more money. Merritt was okay. So I traded out McKercher to bring him back in just for him to then get injured again and then trade him back out again.
Yep.
But then, this...
Yeah. I think one of the big takeaways for me next year, especially if I'm going to go a Guns and Rookies style setup, is trying to get premiums quicker than everyone else, especially you guys that are 450 to 500k that are scoring well, and not fluffing around with bringing Jordan in, bringing Jordan out. I think that's one of the big takeaways I've had from Abs, who talk to a lot off air, is get more promos than the opposition quicker. is a great way of jumping up the rankings. You miss out on a crappy rookie score, you get a good primo score in, and it fills a spot on the team that you can have all year. So it's something definitely that I'd like recommend for everyone else for next year. Joe's had a few stinkers, though, tell you what.
I had a lot of stinkers, mate. I got a lot of. Look at that, Velo, 100% Velo. Joe's worst out is Grundy, worst in Roma.
Yep.
100%. That was that.
But Grundy looked so dead. At that time, Grundy had like 3 poor scores and just looked dead.
I forgot how rough some of your trades were. I'm telling you, man. It's been a hard season, right? I've played this game on hard mode. And why would I start Gorn for 580k when I could pay up over 700,000 for Gorn? You know what I mean? Like,
oh, of course. You just like giving everyone that kind of heads up that they need, right? So you can jump back up the rankings.
So bad. I don't mind these trades. These trades were okay. These trades were okay. Oh, you know what? LDU, probably LDU.
Best trade
is my best trade in. I gotta say, I think
even
LDU
Zorko
is my best.
Like even bringing Zorko in, he's lost a little bit of money, but he's been all right the last 2 weeks. One thing as well for next year is something I'm looking to doing is when we start to do these big upgrades, going someone cheap over like how Joe's got Sullivan at 220k, like just that 100k makes a big difference. Like go cheap when you sideways or when you upgrade, just chuck in a cheap player. It's not worth it.
Yeah. No.
Both Joe and I got murdered by picking up Big and Ewan over someone like Garcia.
Oh.
Like if we had Big and Ewan, that's an extra 200k. So if we didn't have Big and Ewan, that's an extra 200k like that we have in another playing player. So yeah, it sucks.
100%. Alex, Joe, seriously, get TDK. I know you have had a nightmare run this season with the Rucks, but he won't let you down.
Yeah, the problem is he'll play and then Pitnett will come back.
Yeah, that's the thing. As soon as I trade him in, Alex, Pitto will be back for you. So I'm gonna do you a favor and not shaft your team like that, okay? I'm nice like that. Danger will get off 100%. Of course, because he's playing the Bombers this week. He has to get off. Sin was a late in because Bowl was ill.
Yeah, because Boak was out. Because I was asking about Sin.
Port changing the opening game song from Never Tear Us Apart to Torn. Yeah, they got killed. Walsh milked it. All right. Thomas, g'day lads. I could get McKercher, but it'll cost 2 trades. Worth it or nah? You got 6 trades, bro. You got plenty of trades. Get him in.
Yeah, I would.
Big J, Showmaker, Falstrop, or Dowling might be better options.
Yeah, I can't do Showmaker because he doesn't have DPP in the back line. And I brought in Evans last week. But Falstrop potentially with me having DPP. I think I want a mid only though. That's my thing. If I'm going to get Simkin in this week, I want a mid only because I've got DPP the other ways. If I get Falstrop, I've now stuck myself with not having DPP cover again, and that kind of defeats the purpose of me bringing in Simkin because he can only cover midfield then versus him being able to cover forward and defense. Sorry, forward and mid.
Youngko, Roos top 4 in 2 years. Wow.
I don't think 2 years, but we're probably, if we get some good trades in this year, and if we keep up the consistency, I think in 2 years we're pushing for a final spot. We're probably taking like what would be a Gold Coast position at that point. So yeah, like we look great now, but we just need a bit of a push.
Go on, clearly hasn't played against TDK as a solo ruck this year, just to coming down. Yeah, exactly. Coming down. G'day, lads. Jay, Josh, is 23 primos worth going down from 3 trades to 2? As I currently has Dempsey as F7 M9.
Yes, I would. It depends on who you bring in, and if you've got DPP coverage, like I assume you'd be trading a Dempsey for Like if it's a good primo, like a mid only but 500k plus, do it. If you're bringing in a Jai Simpkin or someone else who can cover multiple positions, I would do it. So sometimes we have to kind of do these trades. So yeah, going
Oh, go
Caldwell.
Caldwell then, Josh. Go Caldwell then. If you can hold.
Dempsey's going to lose too much cash, man.
But he's going to be he's going to be on the bench. Dempsey will be on the bench.
Yeah, but I would rather spend the trade, upgrade Dempsey to like someone else who's is probably going to be better cover.
Because he will have. What's he doing? So he's got
1 week injuries are going to happen. 1 week suspensions are going to happen. It always happens. Every year.
3 trades to 2 trades. So he's doing 1 trade to get a 23rd premium.
Yes. Yeah. I would do that.
His F7 M9 is Dempsey at the moment.
Yeah, but how much is Dempsey? Like he might be able to grab like someone else who is really good. That price.
369.
Okay. So Josh, it's all about who you can get for Dempsey. That's the big thing.
He's pretty close to Simpkin.
Yeah. That's
he's only 31k.
I would personally do that trade. I would go Dempsey to Simpkin and have a better cover at a midfield / forward spot.
You need 100k.
So expensive, man.
He's playing well.
So that's what I'm saying. But like, he's so much more expensive than a Raul or not a Raul, sorry, than a Rosie or a Simpkin or even a McCurch.
Yeah,
like it's exactly too much.
Yeah, great. Oh, thanks Yanko. Much love, Yanko. Revel and Leak Alir to Sa, Delhole, and Kerno. You're not a fan?
I wouldn't do it.
But it's for Kerno.
Yeah, but you're getting rid of 2 players. Like Alir is probably good for a 65 plus now with Taylor out, and Revel is around the same mark as well. I would be bringing in a playing rookie. You have to bring someone in. Don't bring just like Kerno. Unless you're desperate for the DPP between defense and midfield to be able to do some stuff, like maybe with a McCurcher clips, I would probably do it then, but not for the sake of just forcing a Kerno in your team. Like Alir's a decent footballer, and you might find that you actually need him. Like, how much is Alir? Give me a sec.
Alir, leak.
So for 100k more, you can get McCurcher. I would probably be looking to do that, and then have some nice DPP cover, then forcing Kerno in and a dead rookie. I think, like we've just seen with Evans scoring a 68. That's not, unfortunately for Joe, that's not far off what a Matt Rowell and a Tuke Miller scored last week. Like we might end up getting rookies being able to score similar to Primos for a week. I would probably bring in the better player and not have the dead rookie.
Man, yeah, that's unreal, Michael. I think he single-handedly in that midfield was keeping them in. Him and the umpiring definitely did all they could to keep West Coast in that game. Him not getting a vote is very surprising.
Yeah, Elio's a good player. He's really come back. He has been the miss of the year. If you didn't start Elio, you are not top like 1K or top 100.
5 M8 and 4 trades left. Should I burn True and bring in an Uber?
Yes.
Or swap for Simpkin in 1?
Yep. Get the Uber in. Get the guy that's going to score the best that you can have on field. Don't trade and get in a guy that probably scores you 100. Get the best player you can. 100%.
Yeah.
100. Points on field always trumps everything else.
Kerno gets freeze because defenders can't stop him, mate.
Well,
those
and he moves up the ground and cops a bit of a bashing. But yeah, probably.
Mate, some of them were bloody soft. You just got to call one. Like I see a bunch of forwards get held. I see a bunch of forwards get marking interference who have marks that don't get paid. Like it's just everyone should be treated the same, regardless if you're a star or not a star. I just don't like the preferential treatment that the AFL and the umpires have towards certain players for sure. 2 in the forward line. up the field, 1 for holding the ball, and 1 for a marking contest. Oh, there you go. Alex is giving the free kicks that you got. Usually for a key forward like Curnow, you'd want to be looping them. But do you guys trust him enough to straight F6 him? I do. Considering the run that they've got, and he's in ripping hot form. I'm happy fielding Curnow, to be honest. His floor hasn't been necessarily that low either in recent weeks. What's his floor been? He scored pretty well. He's gone 118, 80, 81, 90, 71, 108, 59. So, for the last little while, 103, 70, 109. Like, he's still averaging pretty all right for the season. So that's good enough for me in the forward line, I think. I wish we got a free for Merritt throwing the ball. Mate, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one free kick, but that does not off-put all the other BS. That was a bit of a
throw, Joe.
It was a throw.
He's trying to do a Harry Sheasel.
Mate, I'll give you that. I'll give you that he threw the ball in the middle of the ground, but that does not make up for all of the stuff that we did not get. The paid marks that weren't paid, the holding the balls that we didn't get. We had 8 free kicks for the entire game. 4 up until 3/4 time.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not willing to buy that. Lincoln, g'day lads. Need to probably move Clary and have Sexton D6. If I go Rose, I can only get 497 for a D6. It's Rivers, Stewart, or Will Powell.
Look, I don't like Stewart, but I think Will Powell will be okay, and I think Rivers will be okay. Like Rivers as a good pod. If you're looking for a good pod in your team, chuck Rivers in if you can. How much?
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Flanders is the first.
He doesn't have DPP. That sucks. Yep. Depending on, we might not even get Flanders in the back line. Sorry, in the forward line. So
forward line. Yeah. How we all miss? Well, the thing with Caldwell, Adamo, was Parrish was going to come back. Setterford was coming back, but then Parrish had an extension to his injury. He copped another injury, which extended his time frame. He's delayed back into the game, and then Setterfield plays one game and then does his knee and then he's out again. So a few things that just simply didn't go our way. Like if we knew right from the get-go that Parrish was going to be missing at least 5 weeks, it would have made the decision a lot easier. But he was going to be back in like 2 or 3, and then it got extended out again. So
yeah,
it's a forgivable miss. No way Dangerfield gets off. He's had both arms pinned, and Walsh didn't do a Stephen May.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
G'day, JG. How's it going? If you haven't subscribed to the Super Coach Hub, guys, honestly, they do some incredible things. Caldwell or Jezza, Coleman, super consistent, averaging 98.2. Cameron, better fixture and ceiling, but low floor.
And I think Caldwell's the better player, but there are options around the same mark. I think Cameron's going to get a bit more attention now that Lucas is out. They'll plan for them just having one forward. Kind of hurt.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're close to wrapping it up, guys. Fritz got to be in career high fantasy points 11.
Glenn Archer. Jackson Archer smashed him.
He did. This might be the first time I read your name, Genwell. Welcome to the channel.
On the show, having a watch.
Yeah, good to see you. Joe, TDK will do amazing things to your system. Look, I don't doubt it. But the problem
next year, if he's solo
ruck next year,
there's something to be said about picking him next year. And he's
correct.
Cheap, fuck him in.
I've only got 2 trades left, and I've got Gorn in English. Like I can't do much about that.
Of course. And TDK is expensive.
Correct. Got 5 trades left. Sexton to Caldwell, or trade 2 rooks to Simpkin or Jeremy Cameron to have a 23rd. I reckon Sexton to Caldwell works.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd probably go up to a 500k player if I can. But if you set on Caldwell, I wouldn't do it. Like, I think Sexton needs to go regardless. So, yeah, I don't mind it.
Yep. Great job, guys. Thanks. Thank you very much. again, new name I haven't read before. Thank you very much for jumping on. North need a tall defender to be considered top 4.
It's interesting. I don't know if that's the case because our backline now is really stacked. Like, there might not be household names, but like I don't even know where Logue and McKercher are going to play. So, yeah.
Fair enough. Does Bont cop the tag on Saturday?
Who are they playing?
North.
I think they're going to try. I think they're going to try.
Fair enough.
Like, who else do you try and tag?
Yeah, exactly. Chase, yeah, boys, I feel myself getting all that every day. Pretty tight. Gonna say bye. Thanks for coming on, Chase. Much love, mate. We're wrapping up as well. Absolutely wrapping it up. These last few comments. Chloe,
Chloe.
I
don't mind it. I think you'll be okay. I think it's not terrible.
Yep. I have no idea, Velo. I have no idea. Like the umpiring was very one-sided in that game. I'm not going to complain. Imagine that throw not being paid resulted in you not being able to afford merit this week.
Yep.
For sure. Who is more likely to get DPP, Rosie or Simpkin?
Well, Simpkin's already got it. So perhaps Simpkin's already got DPP. So Rosie's more likely to get DPP.
Yeah. Gee, I'm confused. Cheers, Aero. Much love, mate. Sexton break even of 77. It's probably not far off being upgraded. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's made his money. He's done his job. Playing Collingwood at home, though, Sexton should easily get that break even. Potentially.
But the problem with Sexton is there's people coming in taking his role. And that's the big issue. So
yep. Yeah. All right. And with that, guys, that's over 2 hours on a Monday night. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed as much as we did. If you did, hit the like. If you're new, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to not miss out on any of our videos and streams that we have continuously coming out every week here on the channel. We're live, as you can see, on Mondays at 7:30 and on Thursdays at 5:30 for the drive home.
Guys, we'll have a few more videos coming out this week. I've got my team review. We're going to have our captaincy video and our tips as well. I think we're getting a little bit stuck on what players to bring in and what players to bring out. So maybe we'll slow those videos down a little bit. We're just taking your questions there. But if you guys want to get 6 out of 6 tips or, smash the captaincy like Big J, then stay tuned for all the good content.
Mate, what was your captain this week?
Hey, I went 1-1, right? I can have good tips or bad captaincy score. So it worked out okay. Next week, better captain. No Luke Ryan captain anymore.
I don't mind giving up one tip to get 5 out of 6 if I mean getting LDU VC. I was pretty happy with that trade-off there.
Fair. I mean, if I had scored 2,200 this week, I'd be pretty happy too, right?
100%. Remember, guys, thank you so much for watching here at the Centre Bounce. We do the hard work so you guys don't have to.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.